a fan of Mario games or RPGs, then have I got a Nintendo Direct for you. June 2023's Direct had its lulls, but it also kind of ruled. So let's get into this list because there's a lot of games that we have to cover, and I want to make sure we don't spend too much time on each of them. Pokemon Sword and Shield's DLC was given more footage and more details. I think everybody's just hoping for this to be a really big performance fix for the game, but maybe that's just me. Sonic Superstars is the new 2D Sonic game, which is going to have 4-player local co-op. There's never really been a local co-op in a Sonic game outside of you controlling Tails and not really having control of the screen. Persona 5 Tactica looks like a great game if you like tactics and Persona. I've never played Persona, and I don't know if I'm going to start with Tactica, but it looks cool. Mark was not a huge fan of the chibi art style, but I guarantee that he'll come around.
I hate chibi. I don't know why. Who likes chibi? I don't like
It's
it.
cute. It's cute in pixel art.
I'm crapping all over this. Am I gonna play this? Probably.
Oh, of course you are. It's a tactics game based on Persona.
Yep.
You're not gonna let something silly like the art style.
I
stuff.
will be doing
Also,
this.
you're gonna tell me 3 months after you play, it's kind of nice. It grows on you.
Grows on you.
Detective Pikachu Returns. Literally, that's the name of the game. It's another Detective Pikachu game. The first one was on 3DS, but they didn't get Ryan Reynolds or Danny DeVito to be Pikachu's voice, and I think that's a big miss. Peach is getting her own game. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. Looks like all of her powers come from her dress. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon from the 3DS is getting re-released on the Switch. It's gonna get a graphical upgrade. I hope performance is better than what they showed in the trailer, but they also showed like 3 seconds of the game, so I'm sure it's gonna be fine. This next one actually surprised me a little bit. We're gonna be getting the Batman Arkham Trilogy on Nintendo Switch. The graphics looked kind of muddy, but it looked okay. We'll have to see when it comes out. This game called Manic Mechanics is coming out. It looks like Overcooked, but with vehicle production, and I'm excited for that. Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince is the next Dragon Quest Monsters game, which is the Dragon Quest version of Pokemon. Pikmin 4, I thought, was going to be the focus of this Direct, and they did spend a lot of time talking about the game. They showed us a lot of modes. I think there's a competitive player versus player mode. Metal Gear Solids 1, 2, and 3 are coming to Nintendo Switch in the form of the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, and that's going to include those games as well as the Nintendo games, a lot of other extras. I think there's a visual novel in there. I'm stoked. I love Metal Gear, so now I get to play it on the go. I guess I sort of have it on the Vita as well, so it's not like I didn't have that option before. Vampire Survivors is coming to Nintendo Switch. This is actually a pretty big deal. The game is super cheap on Steam, but it's also wildly successful. It started as a web browser game, which I think is pretty cool, and now it's this massive game that's getting added to Switch. It's on Xbox. It's only a matter of time before they put it on PlayStation, but I know this is something Mark wants for the trophies.
Vampire Survivors?
Yeah, man.
Why is this game not on PlayStation yet? I want like trophies.
No!
I want trophies.
Completely upset.
This next game weirded me the heck out when I saw it, and I'm pretty excited about it. It's called Headbangers Rhythm Royale. You play as a pigeon in a rhythm game, and it's a battle royale game, so you're competing against other pigeons who are trying to keep up with the beat. We've had shooting games that are battle royales, we've had platformers, and now we've got a rhythm game, and I think that's a pretty cool concept. Penny's Big Breakaway is a 3D platformer that looks like it was inspired by old school 3D platformers, but the motion looks so smooth. It's a little bit sensory overload. They use a lot of colors in this game. There's like no color palette. They just said yes to all the colors. I hope it runs as good as it looked in the trailer because I'm excited for it. We're almost to the big stuff, so just hang with me. We're getting there. It's going to be awesome, but we only have a few more games to go through. Star Ocean: The Second Story R is a remake of Star Ocean: The Second Story, and they've remade the old game and given it new graphics, 2D pixel art characters with 3D environments. It's just enough modern to add to this classic title, so I'm excited for that. I've never played this Star Ocean series, and maybe this will be my entry point. Although I guess I should start with the first one, which is also on Nintendo Switch. WarioWare Move It is a motion-based WarioWare game. I'm pretty excited for that. WarioWare, if you don't know, it's like a collection of a ton of mini games, and in this case they're going to be motion based. And if you've never played a WarioWare game, this might be a hilarious one for you to start with because you're not going to know what to look at when you have all these mini games flying in your face and there's motion controls, and everyone looks funny as heck when they're doing motion controls.
Oh yeah, look at
There
him.
it is.
Finally, before we get to the other big reveals, we've got 2 new amiibo for Tears of the Kingdom coming. I'm very excited for these. I love collecting amiibo. We've got Zelda and Ganondorf. I think these are going to be really popular, so I'm going to make sure to pre-order them. I have a whole shelf full of Zelda amiibos. I don't know where they're going to go. Anyway, now let's talk about the real news from this Nintendo Direct.
Super Mario RPG?
Yeah, you get that. Do you have the pass? Do you have access to it?
This is new.
Oh, good call,
no!
Mark. It's new. Good thing you own a Nintendo Switch.
It's my life. It's slipping away.
There goes my life. It's over.
Oh my god.
Super Mario RPG is getting a full-blown remake on Nintendo Switch. Now, this is a huge deal for a bunch of reasons. Mainly, it's a huge deal because this is a beloved RPG. A lot of people, especially Mark,
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
are very excited for this game to be being brought back in such a beautiful light. And while the game's visuals got a complete overhaul, similar to how Link's Awakening got this visual overhaul, the gameplay looks mostly unchanged. Granted, this was a trailer, there might be some new things to do, but ultimately it looks like it's going to be the same familiar experience for people who loved it back in the day with a fresh coat of paint. Actually, no, a fresh chassis, wheels, the whole shebang. Because in this scenario, I guess the game is a car. Regardless, I'm excited to play it because I didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up and I never really got to sit with long games like this. So I'm gonna play Super Mario RPG for the first time for real, and that's pretty exciting. And finally, this is the beat drop. This is the one more thing, even though they announced it in line with everything else. Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Brand new 2D side-scroller platformer Super Mario Bros. Game. Nobody is not excited for this, which is to say that everybody's excited for it. Mario's classic gameplay looks as solid as ever. You can't go wrong with a 2D Mario game. Even the worst ones are fun. This game's also gonna have 4-player co-op. If you've ever played New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe or any of those games, you know that the co-op is ridiculous. It's usually very chaotic. The more players you have, the more chaotic and the more fun. So on top of that, we have to talk about power-ups. Now, usually in a Mario game, the power-ups affect the character. You get to be bigger, you get to shoot fireballs, you get abilities. In this game, it looks like we're gonna get a power-up that lets us move things around on the stage. The warp pipes come to life, they grow eyes, one of them's doing the worm, and then I realized that you can move the warp pipes around, and then I started thinking this is actually a pretty big deal. We're gonna be modifying the stage to find secrets, to make jumps, and do all sorts of crazy things. Also, we've had Cat Mario, we've had Raccoon Mario, we've had Frog Mario, but we now have Elephant Mario, and that's exciting and weird, so I'm into it. So if you don't have a Nintendo Switch, you probably might want to consider one, even if it's a Switch Lite or a used regular Switch. There's so many good games still coming out for this console. I know we are like in extra innings for the Switch's lifespan, but they didn't announce a new console yet. You can probably expect that maybe later this year. Don't wait up for that. If you want to play any of these games, you really should just get a Switch and enjoy them because the console's not going to go anywhere even after the new Switch comes out. And these games sure as heck aren't going to just vanish when the new Switch comes out. So yeah, get this console, get these games. The new Mario games are going to be so much fun. And if you like this video, make sure you like the video. I like doing some of these digests sometimes, and today felt right, so here we are. If you want to talk more about the games that were announced, I know I didn't go over all the games. It would have been like a longer video that I didn't want to really make. I didn't have a lot to say about those other games, but if you want to talk about them in the comments, I completely welcome that. I know one of the other ones was Gloomhaven. The board game's getting a digital Switch version, so that's exciting, but it did not look too promising in the trailers. Also, huge shout out to Mark for joining me on this adventure. We go into Discord sometimes and talk to each other while these things go on. He was really way more excited about Super Mario RPG than I could have expected. That guy wears his gaming heart on his sleeve, and I am here for it. Anyway, thank you for letting me talk your ear off about this Nintendo Direct, and I will see you in the next video.